Hey, Warren Norton. Jeff
Yes.
Morgan, so good to meet you. This is
How you doing?
good. Mark Esquivel.
Mark.
Warren was the guy who defended Shelley Luther here in Texas.
Okay.
And he loves to see the government. And I
I don't love to see the government.
Oh, come
I
on.
like to defend liberty.
So he's our Sean McMillan of San Diego.
He is our Sean McMillan of the state of Texas.
Yes.
Warren, you have any words you want to say to us here?
Well, I'm just glad the CPAC decided to come to see us in Texas this
Right.
year. It's been a great opportunity. It's my first CPAC. So
Is it really?
Yeah. It's I'm always busy. I can't get away for that period of time, but this is nice. You know, it's
Yeah.
a chance to get out and show your stuff and strut.
Yeah.
And talk about the things that you've done and meet other like-minded people.
Right.
People within the the freedom movement. It's awesome.
So let me ask a question here, if you don't mind.
No, absolutely.
Okay, so right now during the COVID time, a lot of these court hearings have been online, and the judges are saying you can't record anything. It is, if you record the hearings, this is a contempt
Contempt of court.
But the question that I have is why? Because in the state of Texas, number one, we do have the open court doctrine.
Right.
It is guaranteed under our Texas state constitution. I believe there's a lot of free speech issues that are involved with that. And when you look at the judges themselves, the judges actually make more than the governor does in many instances. And we have the right and the duty as citizens of Texas to monitor our courts. So the question that I have is why?
I would happily represent anybody who's being sued or being hit with sanctions for that because I think it's wrong.
Thank you. That's
Yes,
what I wanted
yes,
to get you
yes.
for. Thank you so much. Can I shake your hand and give me your card at the same time? Because I can see it
Now,
coming.
I don't know
already.
that we win. I don't know
No,
that we
we're
win.
going to cut that out. We are going to win.
But I think the Supreme Court makes these rules,
Right.
and they ought not. And they make excuses, and they'll say, well, we have small children and minors involved, but you could carve that out, right? You could say,
Right.
look, under a traditional contract case,
Right.
there's no reason for it. Now, I've had people say, but some judges will showboat, and that's true.
Right.
Okay, it is true. But I think that the value for people to be able to gauge what kind of judge a judge is, we would get rid of a lot of bad judges. And I'll trade getting rid of bad judges or just making their behavior better.
Right.
We may not lose them, we may just make them behave better if they knew people were watching.
So what you're saying is that there are some judges that don't behave well.
I'm saying that there are many judges who enjoy their demigod status within the four walls of their room.
Okay.
So would legislation removing gag orders or the ability to gag be a step in the right direction or wrong direction?
I don't know that you really need to go that far.
Okay.
I think you simply need to have the state legislature say, look, if cops can live with cameras and we find that as a benefit, then why can't mundane court proceedings be on camera?
Yeah.
Judge Roy Ferguson, I forget which court he was out of, but he put forth the guidelines about the broadcasts to be done during COVID. What he stated was that it is the right of the people to actually observe the courts. So even if you have two litigants in there and they say we don't want cameras, sorry, it's not your right. It's the right of the people of Texas.
Right. The courts don't belong to the litigants. The courts belong to the people who are providing the environment by which this litigation is going to occur.
Okay.
This is not a money-making deal, right? The courts don't make money. The taxpayers support them.
The taxpayers support them. So we do have, I would say we have the duty, the right, the obligation to monitor our courts, especially when you look at some of these district judges that get paid more than our governor.
Well, of course. Now, then there's some districts that do it better than others, right? Dallas, for example, in theory, does it very well.
In theory.
In theory. So they all have a Zoom set up for the litigants, and then they broadcast them to YouTube.
Right.
And that's all happening when things are working the way it's supposed to.
Right.
That's all happening at one time.
Right.
And so I, as a litigant, am obligated by the rules of the court in a way that an observer is not.
Right.
And so,
As a litigant.
as an attorney, right?
Right, exactly.
I'm an officer of the court.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
But I, as a citizen, can observe. And so if I'm going down the highway, for example, and if I see a billboard, am I allowed to take a picture of the billboard?
So far as I know, yes.
So if I'm watching something on YouTube, am I allowed to record the YouTube?
Well, as long as you use it for personal use and we don't get into copyright issues, that's another issue.
Right, but I'm saying that,
Yeah.
like for the judicial proceedings.
For the judicial proceedings, my opinion is that you have a First Amendment right to unobtrusively record judicial proceedings.
Unobtrusive.
Generally.
Yes, that's the unobtrusive
Yes.
part. Because what I've seen when I've looked at some of the, I don't know if it's the statutes or what you want to call those things regarding the courts, it's basically they're concerned about you being causing disruption in
Right.
court. And if I'm
and that's reasonable. Look,
Right,
so,
absolutely.
but as you know, I filed Amy Hetke's case whenever she wanted to record in the State House committee room, and we forced Byron Cook to change his rules.
oh wow.
And so,
So I didn't know that you actually represented Amy.
Not yet.
Amy's a little bit of a troublemaker here. Some people like her, some people hate her. But the thing is that she doesn't. She's taking a stand. Once she takes her stand,
You have the
she's
right
willing-
to ask a
she's willing to
question.
stand up, and so you have to have people that are willing to stand up.
Right.
So, and then there's another case we had. Okay, so in the younger case, right? This is when the crazy mom wants to turn her little boy into a little girl.
We're very
right?
familiar with it.
Right, and so media is allowed, media is allowed, media is allowed. Well, on the end of the proceedings, there's an announcement. No media unless you're
A friend of Kim Cook's.
right. That's what it
I
comes
was
down
down
to.
there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so I filed a writ of mandamus against Cook on behalf of the Texan and on behalf of Christian Life News or somebody like that.
Yeah, LifeSite News.
LifeSite News.
Maddie, I know,
Yeah.
because Maddie and I were down there together.
Right.
We were different
So I filed a
organizations.
writ of mandamus on
Yeah.
behalf of those two organizations.
Yeah.
And Ms. Cook
Is no longer a judge
she recused
herself.
the next day. The next day.
Yeah. Is she actually still in the?
I think she's still a judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because right now we're under Mary Brown. And I mean, there are some very interesting things when you watch her courts, because I knew that Mr. Younger was going to be done. So I decided to start watching her,
Right.
what the stuff that she does, and I have question marks in the back of my mind. And,
Well,
and I don't expect, and I know because Kuntz Fuller, you may know Kuntz Fuller, but I think that they're a horribly unethical law firm. You don't have to comment on that. This is my opinion.
Right.
That they are horribly unethical. I've dealt with it in the past. And of course, you have Jessica Janicek, the child castration attorney. So, anyway, I mean, they pull all these sneaky tricks. So I just was wondering, I mean, because like I said, Warren has defended liberty, and he does not like to see the state deprive people of liberty. And I remember there was one post that you said, though, that I thought it was you. I love to see the government, maybe to stand up for liberty. I don't know.
Well, there may have been it may have been just in an environment
Yeah.
where that was the discussion.
So actually, let me tell you one other thing too, because we had I don't know if you remember, but we had a case in front of the Supreme Court regarding no-fault divorce. You know,
Yes.
Well, the Supreme Court chose not to hear the case, but
How you done?
Warren was the person that we contacted.
So yeah.
Anyway, I'll let you go here.
Yeah, see ya.
Thank you so much. Do you mind if I
Nice
put this
meeting you.
online?
Nice meeting you.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you so
We'll see
much.
ya.
Thanks.